Title: An Unidentifiable State of Change. Produced by Black Bottom James at BKK Productions. Theme: Jesus is real. My state of mind changes continuously. Unfortunately, for me, I am not really sure how I am supposed to be feeling, as my physical body is in a constant reaction with changes being implemented by my body as it ages hourly or weekly or daily, in its reaction to different needs it requires every day. I don't know if these are weekly, daily, monthly, or yearly changes. Every hour is a new hour, as I have never been at this time and place in my life. I have no idea how my body should respond to age, either physically or emotionally. A different pain is sporadically occurs in my feet, or other parts indicating a nuisance pain transcending to my upper shoulder, never knowing if this is the resulting pain from aging or if there is a specific reason for these occurrences. There are no road maps available pointing in a specific direction or identifying your physical deteriorations or if or when they will occur. There are no reputable guidelines available to be used as a reference because people are different. For some people where abuse was prevalent, their bodies throughout their life with many unnatural substances, as they were never able to determine who they were, and in identifying their needs, drugs, cigarettes, and any substances they could find were used and abused. This is a transition mode of age, both physical and emotionally. The body does not quite respond as it did in previous years, and the adjustments required for daily activities occurs in an untimely moments requiring the mind to think, but maybe not having the body to respond as timely as it has in the past. Pain is not accidental, unintentional, or incidental. It is designed for a purpose, placing you in discomfort or distress, initiating a potential agonizing or detrimental torments, placing distress in your life, losing focus, or simply making your life miserable and intolerable. Sometimes there is another agenda hidden but aggravating enough to lose attention from an issue of much more importance. Satan is devious, using whatever means or loss of concentration on other things, taking your mind where he wants emphasis or spotlight. Unless there are other options at your disposal, you will usually succeed. Others are not delays in your thinking or your reflexes, yet your thoughts may on high alert. However, the body is not quite ready for such quick responses. Their standards or problems would be different than people like me that never forgot their body was issued and should be treasured and nourished with exercise, nutritional food, and limited alcoholic substances and no drugs except marijuana. In their younger years, can we have the same comparable bodies with only minor differences or mass differences? Some people never had a healthy body, not due to their neglect, but different illnesses were present complicating their lives. Regardless, the body is our home and only dwelling place, being a place of function for this environment, an environment specially made for this body. Man is a tripartite being having a composition of three separate and distinctive structure composed of body, soul, and spirit, same as his creator. However, man is not united in his control and authority of his being, as his creator is in total authority and command of all things. Man was given a soul and body, but was not given the spirit of his creator. That all being true, the body is out of control. It will not always obey the commands of the owner. We all have not experienced an evidence of these occurrences, as our body does not respond to our repeated commands at all times. We can say, don't keep looking at that woman's body with continuous thoughts of a romantic sexual interlude, but many times these commands are totally ignored. Other times, we can instruct our bodies not to keep eating, but it does not obey as we keep eating. Most of us have a desire to relieve our body of all vices, but that is improbable. We can insist the need to remember specific items for testing examination, yet, as the test progress, we fail to remember necessary text from previous studying and we fail the test. There are many other examples regarding overconsumption of alcohol, having extramarital affairs, stealing, and others that could be added. The body is its own boss, being its own decision maker, placing us in a compromising position of guilt. At times, the body controls, not we controlling the body. On those occasions where there is no conflict and our desires are the same, the body will obey. Otherwise, there is a conflict of control. Therefore, if our body is not responding to all our commands, then it must be controlled or influenced by someone else. This difficulty in domineering our body is a very problematic task of endurance, arduous and fractious endeavor. We must train the body for obedience and compliance to our authority and mandates. There is no such thing as beating your body into compliance. Well, for the majority of us, there are other ways. I don't think beating yourself until you are black and blue is considered reasonable. However, taking control is priority. If you're lazy, lacking discipline, then your body will be as you. You must get off your butt and man up. Proceed to a higher level and your body will follow, eventually. This is not only pertaining to exercise, but all other activities, thoughts, opinions, beliefs, principles, ideas, convictions, and theories. If you have a conviction for law school, astronomy, engineering, or any competency attainable, there is nothing having been considered is beyond your feasibility. A complete and total victory will not be won. If so, perfection would have occurred, but there was only one perfect man born of woman, and none of us can meet those standards. However, we can reach a good point of presentable satisfaction for man. The enemy is not totally controlling us, but it has some influence. God stated, "Our very best is as filthy rags," combined that with stating, "Narrow is the gate and few will enter, but wide is the gate and many will find its path." If these statements are true pertaining to all, and they do, most will miss the requirements implied by God in meeting the prerequisites for heaven. Only the best of the best will be qualified to enter into heaven. My behavior is not stellar, not among the very best, disqualifying me as a candidate for heaven. Honestly, I don't know anyone, with the exceptions of my grandmother and mother, will qualify, setting the plateau very high, in which many will not be successful, based upon this criteria of acceptability. Therefore, man is doomed in missing the rapture and will suffer the penalties of life without God, only depending upon the efforts of the two witnesses. Yet, this seems to overshadow the offer and acceptance Jesus completed mandates by God, allowing him to and being the sacrificial lamb representing the sins of man. These actions were more than enough in satisfying the requirements God had stipulated. The sacrifices of Jesus was more than enough in meeting all that God required. This was the qualifier, believing in Jesus and believing he died in our place for the sins we committed. This was the challenge, and it was accepted by God. The sins of man will always disqualify him without the merciful deeds of Jesus, being as dirty rags, without the cleansing, purification, and purging life of Jesus and covering out sins. I cannot explain narrow being the gate leading to heaven, but wide is path leading to destruction. Man's behavior will never be perfect. We will always be inconsistent, having errors. Jesus was the only and forever will be the only perfect human. The rest of us will have issues and concerns. However, we should be constantly improving this body or errors and imperfections. This was stated in accentuating or delineating the intrinsic autonomous characteristics of the body, which were displayed by Adam when initiated and coerced by Satan upon Eve to bite the forbidden fruit. This event was the preemptive event, changing man and his relationship with God, causing the separation between man and his Creator, changing the body of man from eternal life subject to disease, sickness, and flaws, moreover, from incorruptible to corruptible.